yes, there was a lot of gay guys there. Yes, there were a few sort of like lesbians. Yes, there were some hookers. It was this whole myth. But that was London at the time. I mean, this is what was going on. Everyone was young. We were all doing really strange things.
It was very outrageous for that time. It really pissed a lot of people off just with the way we looked.
Back then, Sid Vicious was a shy 19-year-old called John Simon Ritchie.
He looked more like a sort of James Dean character. He had like slick back hair, big sort of studded wristband. Sid had this shy little boy, lost childlike quality I think he had back then.
Ritchie was drawn to the emerging punk scene and started hanging out at the Sex Clothes Shop on King's Road.
It was a place where something magical might happen if you hung around long enough. And I think that was always a kind of gave everybody a sense of purpose to dwell and to make that pilgrimage from wherever to this store.
John Ritchie was one of the many punks who made that pilgrimage.
I have to say, there was something warm about him. Just a nice person. I mean, so, yeah, he stuck around. I mean, I think he was probably sticking to clothes as much as everybody else.
John Ritchie was close to punk's inner circle. One of his best mates was John Lydon, lead singer of the notorious band the Sex Pistols.
He pushed himself into the scene when the paper started to write about pistols and the whole thing. He was the first thing to mention. He went hand in hand with the sort of particular pistols. He didn't quite know what he wanted to do. He just knew he was waiting to sort of fit in somewhere.
Set out to play in a number of pubs around this tall, somewhat stout creature. We nicknamed him.
Lydon was given the name Johnny Rotten after his band.
Is being different, is being special. He's focused. His energy and his efforts on creating an identity, one which doesn't seem to be true to who he perhaps really was. By this, because in the end, it's what people want to see. They don't want to see who you really are.
The quiet, shy John. In fact, as Sid walks free, he's met by just his mum, Anne, and an old friend, Peter Cody. Sid Vicious has 16 hours left to live. He's been released on bail, accused of murdering his girlfriend, Nancy Spungen. Sid's body is clean of drugs for the first time in years, but not for long. Sid's with his mum and a friend, Peter Cody. His mum's heroin. He's now desperate to inject.
He was released into his mother, who then goes out and buys drugs for herself. It's unbelievable. Because of heroin being an addictive substance, in some ways it keeps Sid in a relationship with his mother, and that prevents him from truly separating and achieving independence.
It was just Sid and Anne, and she was kind of a hippie or a beatnik, I suppose, free spirit.
Sid's mum led a chaotic life, moving from place to place, doing whatever she had to survive.
And then she moved to Ibiza, Spain for a little while, and took Sid with her.
Because she'd been one of the hippie. She was in the kitchen cooking up something or other.
It would have been a very obvious and regular sight to come up and find Mum flanked across 2 mattresses with a syringe.
I mean, my first memory of him is sort of like emptying pills into his hands and him just shoving it in his mouth. And that's what it was.
Seeing his mother using a needle encouraged teenage Sid to experiment.
Some people take it to sulfate, some people experiment with it. And because Mum's got things like old metal syringes that you've got to boil wash, you can use 100,000 times, he's turning up and going, actually, might get their kick out if he injects.
Well, it'd take massive amounts of anything. It's take down as speeds, X's, bombers, blues, amphetamine sulfate, which was, of course, the choice.
And his mother was heroin addict in the past. The adults in a child relationship act as models. And, for instance, in a home where there is a lot of open drug use, then this would become normal for that child.
Despite the unconventional upbringing, Sid and his mother were very close. But her inability to say no to her son would end in tragedy.
He's back out, faced with things he was faced with before.
Michael Baden is a heroin expert and the coroner who carried out the autopsy on Sid's body.
In 55 days, he wouldn't have had any tolerance left, and he would have had to start off at a low dose of heroin. It's very common.
Sid turns to his friend, Peter Kodik. As a rock photographer, Kodik knows the New York drug scene, and Sid knows he could be relied upon to source high-grade heroin, paid for by his mum.
I said I'd see what I could do, and I'd see him later on that evening. She probably must have given me, between, let's say, $100 and $150.
Kodik leaves to score the heroin Sid craves. Sid waits with his mother. Even though she now seems happy to supply her son with the drug, she wasn't the one who got him hooked.
And I think that was it, really. Sid lost his virginity to Nancy. As a second choice, I have to say.
Nancy had come to London on a mission to bed a Sex Pistol, and now she'd got one, she wasn't going to let him go.
Sid was very mature, he was very insecure, and she was ideal for him, you know, because he was the one saying that you're the star, and which, you know, when you're insecure is what you need.
Once more, Sid was trusted habitual drug user. Nancy had been a heroin addict from the age of 14.
I think she just had one thing on her mind all the time, was what the sex was coming from, more than anything else.
Sid had been injecting speed with his mum for years. Within days of meeting Nancy, he took heroin for the first time.
Nancy's influence was twofold. One was that she told him he was great, and second, she told him he's even better when he takes smack.
The heroin took a hold. Yes, that sort of changed his personality, as obviously it would. He took to unfortunately like a duck to water. One might imagine in that relationship, he was able to find acceptance of himself as a man, perhaps. And this would, of course, increase his level of attachment and devotion to her.
Now,
Band together. With Sid and Ann, it wasn't like mother and son. It was like they were partners in whatever crime, the hell they were creating, whatever it was. She was his friend more than his mother. She cared about him a lot and took care of him when she could, like a mother. But she was considered one of the gang.
At 8 p.m., while Peter Cody searches the streets for heroin, Anne cooks her son's favourite meal, spaghetti bolognese. Sid had been in good form all afternoon.
He had been so positive. While we were cooking dinner, he was trying on clothes, playing air guitar, jumping around. It was like the Sid that I knew was always there deep inside, but circumstances made it hard for that good-humored person to come out, especially in the recent past.
One of the things intriguing depressed people that you always watch for is if you see that their mood suddenly starts to get better, one of the things you have to be very suspicious of is that they haven't decided that they're really going to kill themselves.